further ado, please join me in welcoming Dr. Sunny to the stage.
Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening. Yes, it's my pleasure to be presenting this particular information today, occupational stress, or what you could call workplace disturbances. What affects us? Every single person on the planet. Let me just give you some disclaimer. This particular platform is provided for education, to educate people and to create an awareness of what this topic is all about. It is not a prescriptive platform. Nor do we treat any disease. No, that's not the point here. Any information that you've heard today which relate to your own health, we strongly recommend that you consult your physician. And if you don't have one, you can use any of our physicians all around the globe who are competent and who are qualified to be able to advise you anything relating to your health. Today, we're also going to be presenting to you some of the activities that we undertake and how we do those activities as we get along onto this presentation. I hope that really stress the important. The first half of the presentation, I'll be dealing with the occupational stress. My today host is Ashria, Lady Singh, all the way from the continent of India, America, and the UK. So it's a global woman because we're a global company in a process. So I'm sure you are ready, steady to go. And just before we do that, I'm going to ask John to just give everyone a welcoming applause to this particular podium. John, you got to our audience.
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you very clearly.
My connection is flashing all over the place. Hello, everybody. Occupational stress. It's not really looked at enough. You can have internal stresses within your job. You can have external stresses, of course, which are and fine is we call it the work-life balance. And people have to keep going. People have to keep going when really their health is being badly affected by, you know, you lose your job, you can have a bad boss, there are so many things that can happen. I read that in Japan, people spend enormous hours just driving to work and back again. And sitting in a traffic jam basically for a couple of hours before turning up for work. I'm really excited to hear the rest of this, and I'm sure we all will be. It's very lovely to see you all. And if my computer will stop jumping up and down, I'll see you all a bit more later. Thank you.
Very good. Excellent, John. We're able to hear you very clearly. We're all clarity, and there was no any disturbance at all. Right. We get started. You can just imagine that image you see now. This is commonplace. What exactly is it? Yes, occupational stress. What we're going to be discussing, what are some of the causes, the risk factors, the global impact, and what are some of the possible solutions. And these solutions, like I said, they are all creating high degree of awareness or low degree of awareness or no awareness at all, but you take it to your physicians to say this is an approach for executive in the legal, financial, medical, and other field, people at the top level, at the bottom level, and at the middle level of management. Everyone goes through some measure of occupational disturbances or occupational stress, which we're going to be developing and which we're going to be discussing in this afternoon presentation. First of all, let us actually have it defined, right? What exactly is it according to the HSC, which is the British Standard of Occupational Stress, also known as work stress, job stress, professional stress. Yes, I go through that one myself every single minute of the day. Or workplace, employment stress, organizational stress, career stress, work-related stress, job-related stress, tension, and the business pressure stress. So look at various definition, but this is the one we picked out. You say occupational stress refer to the work stress, i.e. the type of stress that build up in the workplace. If you have to deal with any unexpected responsibility, yes, that could create a lot of anxieties, a lot of pressure as far as the staff is concerned, specifically not being given adequate. Some of them are not given the adequate training. They put in the deep end. Have you heard of, being placed in the deep end? Yes. Occupational stress could affect the physical and emotional well-being of our employees and work colleagues, either at the top level of execution, at the middle, or the lower level. Let's progress it further. Then we begin to see exactly does it entail? What exactly is it? What are some of the causal factors of this occupational stress? Could be physical or could be emotional. Interpersonal conflicts between team in the workplace. Physical discomfort, too hot, too cold, or any of the long. Prolonged working hours. Lack of work-life integration. I call it integration because nothing is ever balanced in life. But traditionally, in a lot of literature, they call it work-life balance. But I call it work-life integration. And other cycle aspect of it is violence, bullying, threats, discrimination, and of different form. Or it could even be harassment in the workplace. Or it could be some of our men going through a period of andropause, which is a female version of menopause, and your boss doesn't understand your condition. Are you suffering from any of those? Do you have any sort of concern that could create and cause some high degree of stress through related? Or you could be overworked, and you do not have the right skill, but you are given some tasks to do, which you find difficult. Or it could even be lack of job insecurity, low pay, and without progress. Career progression is none or is very, very low. Or you don't even receive proper support. Yes, this could affect a lot of men and women in the workplace, particularly when the employer doesn't really understand some of their hence the reason why we are bringing to the consciousness. If you're an employer tonight, then these are some of the things that you can actually be looking into. Or if you're an employee, it is your right to bring it to the attention of your boss that this is what you are going through. And if your boss doesn't take any action, you have the right to take them to respective or relative or respective authority that can actually help you to deal with that sort of situation. Hence the reason why we are discussing this topic today. Or it could even be relating to the politics that people play in the office place, the discriminatory practices that people, yes, some manager who exhibit. And this is area whereby you can note down some of this. But let's look into the causes of workplace stress. This is for the UK right now. What is actually happening in your own region, in your own geography of operation? Work politics, 37%. Can you imagine? That's more than a third. Lack of team communication. Yes, people even in the same room, they are sending email messages. Isn't that sad? You got what is called loneliness within the community of colleagues. Sad, isn't it? That could cause you some stress in the process. Work performance of other people because they not perform, and there's what is called a group blame of that lack of responsibility. Or maybe because you're not trained on performance, about 31%. And a lot of companies, they do a lot of customer service satisfactions and so forth. 26% level of customer satisfaction. Over a quarter of team in the workplace. Tension with senior management, yes, that could create a lot of isms, nepotism, cronyism, favoritism, all of the isms. And when those isms are against you, that could cause you enormous amount of stress. Have you experienced any? Or you need to watch out as a result of this particular presentation tonight. Are you overworked? Particularly now that we have access to our devices, work is not being done virtually and also physically. Yes, technology enable proximity. So employer can have you loaded, overloaded out, working through the minutes and the little hours of the night. Are you suffering from all of that? Or it could be a cultural issue within the company. As you can see, in the UK, this is a major, major issue. At least overall, more than a fifth of different factors causing stress in the workplace. Oh my goodness, what are some of the global impact? Let's look into the financial impact of it. Economic. Costs businesses billions annually due to absenteeism, reduced productivity, and labor turnover. According to World Health Organization, can you imagine $3 billion US, US alone? That's a huge cost to the global economy, because don't forget, anything that happens in any country has a dominant impact in other countries at the same time. And we all have to pay the price for it. How about the social impact? Disrupted family life relationships and social functionality of people. And declining of community well-being as a result. How about the psycho-emotional aspect of the whole situation? Anxiety, depression, burnout. Yes, this happened quite a lot. I mean, I've seen a lot of executives who cried out to me, say, Dr. Son, look, this is what is actually happening. I said, okay, let's take stock one by one. Yeah, might just be able to talk you through. You don't need any sort of chemical driven to help you to sleep. And all you really needed is what is called talk therapy. Ability for you to audit the way you operate every single day. How much rest do you need to recuperate? Over the last 3-4 days, I have had to take a time off myself just communicate sparingly with my team globally. Didn't have to do so much, just having a bed rest. And I tell you, that is the best therapy I could have applied to myself. Because if I teach people, educate people in terms of what they need to do to have that life work integration, I need to be able to put it into practice. Then I can share it with you generously. And you see exactly what it is. Yes, if you have to take that time out, take it. Discuss it with your boss, negotiate your time, and let it be. And that's what it is. Next slide now. Let's progress it further to the next one. If you look into what we have in that pie chart, and what does it actually say? Look at the index. Top 4 global work related. Related issue reported by employees. Daily work activity, work-life integration, job performance, tension. Can you see exactly what that pie chart is saying? Wow. Which means a lot of us are overworked, but sometimes this could be a necessity in order to get the job achieved, done, which is a transient, a very short time. Customer order, for example, we need to complete that report, for example. But when it is a prolonged, sustained period of time, then it becomes a problem. And this is why you need to take stock and discuss it. Sit down with your boss. Don't say no to the boss. As one of my bosses said to me one time, because bosses are really, they are tough people. They can make a difference to your career. You negotiate with a boss. Boss gives you so many jobs, you say, oh, you gave me this also. Which one should I do first? And they will have to advise you which one you need to do first. Always negotiate. Don't fight. You can achieve a lot more without fighting, just by means of communication, with humility, but with high degree of assertiveness. How about by age? And now you go back, that is by age is so important in terms of those levels where people 18 to 30, what's that level? Can you see where the high level of stress actually lie between ages between 31 and 40? This is where people at their helm of their career, there's a lot of demand, a lot of concerns. These are the achievers, or they want to achieve something, or the company has actually reposed a lot of responsibility on these young men and women approaching their middle ages. And this critical moment, further research have actually reported why it is so critical. Because a lot of men and women, they're starting family. So it is actually the integration of your life and the work balance. Can you see why that is quite critical? And between the 18 to 30, that is actually when we are going through the university, the school age. You can see, yes, a lot of us as students, we go through a lot of anxieties at the same time. But hopefully all of that will actually be reaching a declining stages as we age and get into the level of retirement. But before that time, the damage could have been done. So that's why this integration of work-life balance is so critical, so compelling, that you begin to notice that, and you need to take time away in the workplace. Country with the highest rate of absenteeism due to all of that, United Kingdom. It's quite high. France 15 and United States. Wow, that's where the source of well-being study as of July. Then a further analysis of why there is so much in the UK from the further study also revealed that this particular condition or situation actually was exacerbated post or during and post-COVID period. Yeah, people's levels of anxiety has heightened and many other factors. Could there be any solution? Could there be a way out? Well, let's develop this our presentation, then we see exactly what are some of the other possibilities. Worldwide impact of stress. Yeah, 91% of Australians feel stressed about one thing or the other in life. 45,000 workers in Britain believe that their stress is making them ill. Are you in that position? Do you feel that condition? Genuinely. 86% of Chinese workers reported feeling stressed. Quite a high number. How about India? 55%. If you just look into 1.2 billion people, 1.3 billion people, and the working population about 45% of that, 55% of that is quite a huge number. So this is not a Mickey Mouse discussion that we're having today. It is quite a huge issue that could affect or that's affecting people. Look at that little box, 77% of the global workforce on the edge of burnout. Well, I find this among a lot of my doctor's friends because we work with doctors globally. And I have one of my GP friends who cannot actually remain organic every single evening without taking a bottle or 2 bottles of wine, Prosecco. Isn't that sad? Are you in that position? Are you facing that particular issue? Not just doctors, solicitors, barristers, engineers with a heavy workload. Isn't that sad? Isn't that crazy? How about the AIS according to the source, 99firm.com? Look at some of the insights. 41% of employees claim that stress leads to poor productivity. 100%. I agree with that. In fact, non-productivity at all. Because when you're stressed, it affects not only your psycho-emotional, because a lot of, whether it's a neuroscience issues or anything relating to pain or anything relating to our physical well-being, 80% of how we feel, our health, is affected by emotional imbalances in our whole body. And when you're stressed, you cannot even engage with your colleagues. You cannot even engage with your wife or your children, particularly when there is shortage of money or you have a very, very poor manager in the office place or colleagues facing all psycho-emotional issues. That can affect your performance, even your performance at home in the process. So don't give your wife or don't give your husband, your boyfriend or girlfriend more stress already than they already have. right? That's the reality of it. Yeah. So work-life integration is also important. And that's why we are presenting this particular information so that people become aware of what the lines are. Can you put all of this in a tank, close it, shut it, have it measured, and get it sorted? Or do you want to allow it to explode beyond any imagination? 15% are looking for alternative employer, but don't look away too further, because the next employer might even be worse than the employer that you have at the moment. That's the reality of it. Let's look into the Gear Global stats. The healthcare stress-related costs account for 8 to 10% of national health expenditure in the developed countries. Just to take the perspective of in the UK, we've done some research in recent time. NHS spend around about £3 billion per week. And that's a lot. Can you just imagine even 5% of that a week, 3 billion a week, you multiply, you can see the enormity and the size of all of that. So the various country that we're looking into now is the US, 133 million. That's how many billions? So if you add, that's about what, 13 billion, 15 billion, UAE, 1 billion, Thailand. You can see that this is a global issue. No one country is an exempt country, whether it's South Pacific or whether it's Asia or whether it's Australasia or the Middle East, Europe, and United States of America. No continent, none, is exempt from this stress related. Do you know somebody right now who is suffering from either mental health or stress related imbalances or work-life integration? As in to see us, we can redirect them to our occupational therapists who can support and help them to relieve the conditions, the problem they're going through as we speak. Yes, that's the purpose of this particular platform, to provide the necessary education and information that will enable people to not only to find the challenges, but also to find some respite, some solution to the challenging situation. Make no mistake, challenges are always going to affect you in the workplace, because anything without challenges, then it doesn't really. We need some measure of stress, but not a prolonged. Transition level of stress is good. It helps so to motivate us to do better, to tighten the deadlines, but not when it's prolonged. It becomes not only acute, but chronic. A chronic stress level is never good to the body, and it can lead to so many other issues, mental health, anxieties, and many more of the difficulties. This is according to the National Health Service. Waiting time for the poor mental health. Oof, that's a long time for somebody to even see a physician or a therapist. 21 days, 53 days, 30 days, 182 days. Wow, that's a long time. So do you now see the wisdom of actually dealing with the situation even before it aggravates to a very chronic level? So today's presentation is timely. And I'm sure you will find it resourceful in terms of what we are discussing today. Let's develop the point to the next level and see exactly what are some of the other further implications as far as this situation is concerned. What are some of the risk factors for occupational stress? What are some of the causal factor that leads to all of this? High job demands. Yes, your boss is always demanding. Pound of flesh. That deadline, this deadline. But sometimes that's the nature of the job. It may well be that you're preparing for a high level of court cases. There are a lot of volumes of text to be read. Decided cases. You may have to work throughout the whole night. How about that surgery that is going to be done on Mr. X and Mrs. D? As a surgeon, because doctors carry the burden of the stress of the patient, and the lawyer, the barrister, they take the burden of the client, and the sales manager take the burden of the company. Can you see what we're talking about here? Lack of control, or a lot of too much control, micromanagement, limited autonomy. You are not giving any freedom. The boss is coming to you every hour. How far have we gone? John, what's it? Yeah, what? Do you experience all of that? And does it make you, does that turn you into a freak?
It's a self-portrait, Sonny.
In the process? So
you're absolutely right.
John, I'm actually still talking. Yeah, that was just a rhetorical.
Oh, well,
it wasn't you. It wasn't you. I just picked on a name that I can pick on. Yeah, so this is what we're talking about now. Yeah, is John being micromanaged, or doesn't be given any autonomy? Or because of economic downturn, then there's a fear that you might lose your job. For example, I was reading a report that Volkswagen is actually closing down some of their plant in Germany, and thousands of jobs are going to be lost in the process. Are you caught up in that particular competitive environment whereby your job may be lost? And it was also demonstrated back in the 80s when some of the coal mines were actually shut down, and rationalization of employees from the different pits around the UK. Today, some of this, the impact of some of those are still being felt almost over 40 years on. Yeah, that could be quite traumatic, can't it? You know, the fact that you're going to lose your job. And we talked about the poor life and work integration. Because you're never going to have anything balanced in life, never. But you can integrate them comfortably. Like now, I mean, it's becoming a practice that people can work from anywhere in the globe because technology brings about proximity. So a lot of employers actually, by default, going into 3 to 4 days working in the office and the other day working from home. It just gives the employees some sort of oxytocin, some good factor that really help them to build positive vibe and engagement with the job. Yes, give them some respite. And if you are on the top executive level, give yourself that respite. The job will go on, you know, even when you're not there. It's all about providing the system and knowing your team, and you delegate. I'm so grateful that I have dedicated team from all over the world who are working with us every single day. How about if the roles are not well defined? That could create a lot of conflicting demands. Yeah. I mean, as a company, we've been through all of that. Yes, of course, because we are working to the same objective. You might have some sort of, interwovenness, inter relationship between different roles, and seemingly a conflicting one at that, but it is not. Because sometimes this is what really leads to. How about the emotional labor situation? Don't worry, labor is missing you. I'm using it interchangeably with the American version, but it's supposed to be having that you on it. I normally do. But my designer here has a flavor for American writing. How about the physical environment? Is your office clustered with so many activities? Your home? All of this can bring a lot of risk factors in terms of anxiety, depression. Have you looked around your home environment? Can you see paper flying all up and down? And even some conferences that you would have attended back in March or April or May, June, are they sitting on your desk? What are they doing in there? Put them in the bin. And there's always a tendency, oh, I'm going to get round. I'm going to read it again next time. No, don't read it. Just bin it, sort it. Decluster your whole environment, even your wardrobe. Make it slim, make it lean. How does it feel when you walk into a clean environment? Does it not raise your tempo, your performance, your willingness, and the desire wanted to actually put the best performance? Do it at home, do it in the workplace. Environment matters. You as an employer, you as a manager, do you observe your team, whether there's integration between the team or there's some cliques, and some of them are what I would call the cliche isolated environment. Does that exist? Little office competition, taking sides, gossips all over, isolation, and removing some colleagues away from the social gathering of most of the team. Does that? These could create a lot of isolation and people being stressed because of being isolated or ignored by the group dynamics. Are you an employer? Can you observe some of these and to ensure that your workforce are integrated or they are encouraged to integrate and work as a team in a process? Have you looked into all these risk factors? Can you identify any of these in your work environment, in your work performance? Because whatever happened to us, and when we are stressed, our performance and the total output decline rapidly. What we want is our KPI, key performance indicator, to go up, not to go down. And that will now be a function of the activities and performance of the group to create that possibilities and opportunity for everyone to flourish. Have a look and see which of these are your key factor. You can always come on one-for-one consultations, and that's why we're here. We get you qualified, competent occupational therapists who can support you in terms of not only designing or helping you to design your workplace flow, but also supporting you from day-to-day performance of your job, thereby integrating your life with that of your work, privately and professionally. Let's look into at-risk population for occupational stress demographics. It's actually heightened between the ages of 35 to 55. Why? Well, this is the main group that they have high intensity of work and also possibly into a relationship. So you're not only having stress, possibly in the workplace, but also at home as well. So combining those two together could be quite challenging. Do you agree, don't you? And which of that group have you fallen into? Yeah, majority of us here actually have fallen into that group, or we had that experience in the past. Yes, I had, but I'm actually beyond that age right now. It doesn't really mean that I do not have the stress. It depends on what you're actually doing. As a top manager, it doesn't really matter whether you are 80 years old or 100 years old. You're still going to have some measure of stress and impact because the job demands it. There is no any two ways about it. Higher stress level in the legal, medical, financial, yes, these particular industry sectors, they do receive a lot of that because their job is finite. It's not something that you can postpone to the following day. And sometimes lives are involved within the medical sector, and lives are involved because of financial situation. Lives are involved because of well-being in terms of legal situation. In the executive role, women, according to the survey, they have this more of pressure. Some of this pressure comes from harassment, sexual harassment in terms of career, bullying. This could create enormous amount of stress for the women folks. So what are the risk assessment? Are you able to carry out the risk assessment where your female colleagues could be subjected to all forms of condition that can stress them out? How about people who are under 30, under 35? Majority are students or just get into the ladder of the workplace, particularly from around about 16, 17, 18, all the way to around about 30, 35. They finished not too long ago, but they're getting into the stream. They have not yet stabilized in a process. And some of them have really taken on the demanding role for their age. And because of the desire to excel and to do better than others, that could actually create that driving force. Yes, like I said earlier, this is only good as a period of a very short period whereby you are delivering a project. There are deadlines, but not for a prolonged period of time, because that could lead to mental health depreciation. And that could result to a lot of ill health and a lot of wellness discomfort. How about demographically? Yeah, urban population, because people who live in London, Tokyo, New York, New Delhi, not only contending with traffic and pollution, but they also contend with all the other interferences at the same time. Can you see? Where do you live? In the suburb? Or do you live in the city center? Like London? Conurbation, pollution, traffic. In London, just to drive within a radius of 10, 20 miles, London, it could take you 2 hours in traffic, heavy traffic. When I say heavy traffic, I do mean heavy traffic. And I've done it. I know exactly what it is. Sometimes it's actually cheaper and better for you to be driven around on those big long cars. You know the one I'm talking about, buses and train. Sometimes that's what it is. And that's what I've learned in the last few months, to keep the car at home and let me be driven around by the public system. I've been driving for the last 30, 40 years, and I know what it is just to give up driving for a day. It was so much. In fact, few times I had to miss my train, but I was determined to make sure. Now, yes, it's a wonderful, wonderful experience to be driven around, and you have more time to do so many other things while you're on the train or on the bus. Isn't that wonderful? So evaluate your own condition, your own situation, and see how you can integrate work-life integration. Have it balanced. What are some of the target audience we're talking about here? The high executive in the medical, financial, and in the legal field. How about in the engineering field? Of course, they are part of the whole system. They are high risk occupation because these occupations are overly demanding. And they have a lot of responsibility to deliver. The company have reposed so much on this particular executive, then you have to deliver. And when you have underperforming employees or colleagues, that is actually made it even more compelling. Can you see why some executives, they even depressed or cannot even perform at all? Can you see? Well, if you are a subordinate, make the life of your boss extremely enjoyable. Do the task. You don't need to wait for being micromanaged. And if you're the boss, provide the necessary training. Don't abdicate your responsibility. Delegate it with proper training and with proper resources in terms of making that complex situation. Allow your employee to shadow you from time to time. Then you get a better result. Don't think you're going to suffer from what I call occupational usurpation. That once you're subordinate, once they learn the job, they will overtake you. No, they wouldn't. In fact, the credit will be given to you from the top that you are a good manager. You are a good trainer. You put them in the right stead as against the opposite. Can you see? So provide the training, provide the support necessary, incrementally in the process. How do we manage that stress in the workplace, at home? Learn to understand what triggers your stress level. Is it the boss? Is it the environment? Is it the workload? Pinpoint to that particular item that makes you unhappy, that makes you unwell. Create a timetable. If need be, come to an organization like us for professional support and help. We can provide that. Raise your concern with HR. And if they fail to listen, do you know you can actually resign and claim for constructive dismissal? And you can claim a lot of money from the employer. But this is not a legal platform, but I'm just telling you, these are some of the possibilities that you can resort to. Again, you will have the ability to consult your legal advisor. If you don't have one, we will find you one. Keep away from that mobile phone, that iPad. If possible, don't take computer home so that you don't have to work from home unless the days that have been allocated for working from home. Does that make sense? For me, deliberately, I don't take computer home. I want to be able to keep away, and I'll keep it to tomorrow. It's not going to run away. Seemingly, it might well be. Negotiate with your supplier. Negotiate, exchange the time scale in which the deadline has been given, if possible. But with careful planning and execution, you will meet up anyway. You must have that good sleep. Sleep, we can't overemphasize that. 2-3 weeks ago, we had on this particular platform, insomnia, lack of sleep. We have seen the global impact of lack of sleep, billions and billions of US dollars that are costing the whole global industry. Yes, it's for real. And these are all the connective of what workplace stress can bring about. What are some of the advantages and benefits of addressing the issue of occupational stress? Either from the employee's perspective or from the employer perspective. Improve productivity, yes. Healthier employees are more engaged and they're very efficient and effective, right? They get job done. Yes. Not only measuring the input output, but they're measuring the effectiveness of the group dynamics and the group objective. It reduces labor turnover. And of course, healthcare costs is going down. It boosts the morale of your team who are working with you. Collaborative and creativity are all enhanced. It promotes work-life integration, and employee, they are more willing to open. You can provide as part of your employer. These are some of the issues you have. Training, regular meeting with the different type of operational team. Giving them up to date, but you don't need to overload them with everything that needed to be done. Incrementally releasing what needed to be done. Once they're able to achieve to that state, then you raise a bar. Then you level it up, then you raise the bar incrementally. And historically, some of you may have heard of Alexander the Great, who was one of the greatest leaders that had ever lived. What made him the great was that there are two things that Alexander the Great does as a leader. He's very empathetic. He's approachable by his military personnel. And he believed on the use of technology. He was the first army general that designed a spear that can be taken, that can be held by 4-5 army. And once they thrust it in the front line, it can create a devastating blow. And the third one, it gives his employee incremental information. And it doesn't allow them to be disheartened by enemy, by invading opposing army. It builds confidence in the employee. What do you do in your case? Daily, weekly, with your employee. So that creates a positive environment that reduces the work stress and the physical blow of working conditions. Let's take it to the very next level, shall we? And I can only see John right now, but I cannot see, okay? So let's go into the summative part of today's presentation. The stress, the level of what it is, what are some of the difficulties and the challenges that we face in the workplace and also in and at home. How do we integrate that balance? How do we reduce that level of stress occupationally in order to not only look after our families in our home, but also our families in the workplace? So I'm going to hand back now to our host for tonight, who is Ash, where we take I should only have room for 1 or 2 questions in the next few minutes.
Yes.
But just before we do that, John would like to make 1 or 2 comments. Then you can open the floor just for 5 minutes for question and answer. Then we'll take a little break. Then we'll come back for the second part of the... Yes, John, your platform now.
I'm an engineer, and in any engineering degree, one of the modules is material science. And it's about the relationship between stress and strain. It's known as Young's modulus of elasticity. Elasticity is the ability of a material to return to its original state when a load is taken off. The stress is the load. The strain is the effect. So imagine you had a coiled spring and you put weights on it and you measure how far back it can go every time you put the weights on. You try a bit more weight, you see how far it goes back. It can return to shape. It can return to shape. But eventually, you get to a point where it won't return to shape. That's called the elastic limit. That's when the material breaks down. And the thing we talk about as stress, workplace stress, is not stress. There is stress in the workplace. What you take home isn't stress. What you take home is strain. And eventually, people become overstrained. Their families are hurt. Their marriage breaks down. Their mental health breaks down because they've been overstretched to the point where they cannot elasticize back to the original shape. So we've gone from medicine to engineering in one hit there. Thank you. I'm sorry I dashed off earlier, by the way. It was the toaster's burning alarm went off.
No problem, John. Excellent. It's always good and to hear your voice, the words of wisdom, and so forth. So back to you now, Ash, in terms of taking questions or so and showing people where they can get further information about us, the website, inquiry forms, and so forth. Back to you now.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Sunny. It was such a comprehensive and enlightening presentation. So before we go on a break, any comments, any questions from anybody? If not, I'll start picking the names. All right. So first comment is, of course, from Andrew. We expect. Yes, Andrew.
Okay. On the subject of stress, I always look for the common denominator. Common denominator here is money. The construct of what we live in today is actually based on almost a game of Jenga. Don't know if anybody's ever played that game where everything balances on top of everything else. And the base of this Jenga, going back to John's engineering skill of things being stretched out to the limits and trying to retain back its original shape. The designer who designed us did not design us in a way for us to be on the level that we are today. And even with more technology, it's still not able to alleviate the stress. We do risk assessment, but we should do also stress assessment for every job that we do. And I think a lot of the time when we see these jobs, we see the high paying jobs, but we should also look at the high paying stress that comes with those types of jobs. But as I said, the construct is there. And one of the simple ways we could actually relieve stress is simply by what the designer said was treat others as we would like to be treated. And I think that's just more or less one of the solutions. But in terms of the future, how we go on to deal with stress, we're going to have to bring in some professional people to deal with it. So that's my take on it. Thank you, Aisha.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Next, I see Odongo. Any comments, please?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Evening, Dongo.
Yes, I'm calling from Ghana, Accra, capital of Ghana.
Okay.
Blessed to be part of this lecture or program. And I want to thank one of our participants, Mama Ajua, who met me about some 10 days ago and enrolled me into this program. This morning, she alerted me that the program will come again this evening. So I was very, very alert until she reminded me and I came on board. I complained to her today that, in fact, I would like to be part of the program because yesterday, I was so stressed up. I went to town, from office to office, doing a lot of things, trying to work for people and to impress people because I'm a politician. So I came back home and couldn't eat. I took my bath, laid on the sofa, and I said I didn't want food to eat because I was so stressed and looking so tired. In fact, today I decided not to go out. I have been indoors since morning, and I'm blessed that I see if I knew I've had a lot of rest, and I'm quite good. And this lecture has come to actually warn me and to encourage me, admonish me to take care of my life very well. And like the second of that who gave the remarks, it looked like he said like elasticity. At least elastic has an end. And I realized because I'm a health personnel, but I didn't actually. I knew it was dangerous to be overstressed, but I was taking this for granted. So now I will take care of myself and take care of my clients and take care of everybody, and I'll speak to them. And I wish I had opportunity in a very big gathering, conferences, workshops, seminars, so that I could give them a lecture on this stress, occupational stress. Thank you very much.
Very good, Adogo. Yes, this is why we're here. And you can see on the platform, there's many ways you can reach us in terms of inquiry form, or you can reach us through our representative in Ghana, Mama Ajua, who is also on this particular platform. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Odongo. Okay, so we have just few minutes left. So last comment from Dr. Niazi. I'm very curious with your picture of a child. Dr. Niazi, are you there?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah,
And see
I
you.
was out. Now I came back. I was went to the Maghrib prayer. I not understand the only follow the lecture about the mental health, especially occupational. It was very learning for me. I took some screenshot from the presentation for a future study. I will share with my colleague who are working in the uh, office in Afghanistan with professional staff. It was very useful for me, but I received the presentation not cover all the topic which were sent in email, like diabetes, some other disease also mentioned. But you only talk occupational mental health. This was the main topic, very learning for me, but about the diabetes with the other, I not hear anything, so I don't know why.
Very good. Dr. Nanzi, it's
Yeah.
actually very, very good to have you here on the platform.
Yeah,
There are so many other series of occupational stress that will be discussed on the platform
yeah,
in future. So we're gonna emphasize other facet, other aspect of occupational stress in the future. As you know, you cannot provide every single information to every single topic in one lecture because maximum concentration level is around about 20 to 40 minutes. Anything more than that
yeah.
is going to be quite difficult. Yes, future lecture, you're going to hear a lot more.
Yeah, this is okay. Thank you. Good lecture. I learn more things. Yeah, it is learning for me.
Fantastic.
Yeah, because most thing and some people and are not so interested to the job, to the work. Sometimes the job jobless. Sometimes the how not job security. Sometimes under stress. No good communication in the upper and the lower team, miscommunication. Some other thing. This is the main cause for the mental health, especially for the people who are working in office and some other organization with the government field due to maybe salary problem, maybe family problem, maybe with the leadership, with the management team, they have problem with some other issue in manufacture. I think your presentation cover all these factors which is affecting the and belong to the occupation.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for your contribution. Okay, back to you now, Ash, and you now lead the way when we're going to come back and how long is the break?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your kind words. So right now it's 8:15. We'll be back within 5 minutes of break. Please take time to refresh yourself and we'll see you shortly after 5 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. Yes, welcome to the second phase of the presentation. We'll now be discussing about all the products and services that School of Bionatural holds. Over to you, Dr. Sunny.
Okay, the second phase of this presentation is just to give you some of the activity that we do at the School of Bionatural Medicine. Our main thrust, our main product, our signature product is all about connecting patient with doctor and other healthcare professionals using modern emerging technologies. Some of you may have heard of AI. Some of you may have heard of diabetes being diagnosed, deciphered by artificial intelligence. I think, Andrew, thank you for that, the one you sent me this morning. And this is quite an eye-opener.
Okay.
In many fields. Yeah, Andrew, if you could just help me at this point in time, just so, because you're from the health and wellness environment yourself, just so explain what that technology is actually doing, please.
Actually, there's quite a lot of technologies available at the moment because new breakthroughs, the convergence of medicine and we would say electronics, but it moves into computer science. We now live in an age where the communication infrastructure is more or less completed. So much so that they are having to use AI to manage these technologies. Okay, someone came on the platform a while back, and John was trying to explain to them in terms of the BPI technology. There is some new technology which is doing the same at the moment in terms of sounds, frequencies, and signaling. The analogy I can give in regards to that is almost like you're driving a car and you hear a squeak. It started off quite low in volume and then it just developed into something where you couldn't ignore anymore. You had to take it to the mechanic. The electronics that is available now is so powerful that it can use your mobile phone to hear. The microphone in the mobile phone, it took years to develop and it's at the place where it should be. It can measure frequencies from 20 hertz all the way up to 20K and beyond. So the technology has now been there. There's now things that you can put on your finger in terms of rings that will monitor your blood pressure, and it will send that information straight away to your practitioner, your GP, or your healthcare professional. So with the advent of all these major breakthroughs in terms of electronics, computer science, communication, and bioengineered, don't want to go there because we are bionatural medicine. But now there is the advent of miniaturization. And with miniaturization, this brings nanotechnology. Nanotechnology is, we're talking about things in the micron scale, where it's really tiny, which may work against you or may work with you. But at the moment, all these technologies are very new. And as I said, a lot of them needs clinical trials. A lot of them within the construct that we are in, we are not knowledgeable enough to know what they actually are. Because as you know, with patents, trademarks, and secrets, they have to be kept to people's chest. But those are some of the breakthroughs that's been happening that I will mention for now. But in the meantime, we have to gear ourselves up to take advantage of the good natural ones that will work with us, especially with the BPI that we have, and bringing forward to people around the globe the ASEA products and the gel and all these various medical breakthrough that has been made on the medical side of things. So that's it. That's my take on it for now until another time. Thank you.
Very good, Andrew. That's a really good summary. So on the base of that, we're going to now play the BIPI video so that you can actually see exactly what is taking place. This is one of our products that we have available that can connect a patient to doctor just using your inner voice. Stay tuned and enjoy it.
Introducing an unmatched innovation from the School of Bionatural Medicine, the BP technology. This development redefines the landscape of patient imaging. The BP technology opens a new frontier in patient imaging by infusing the precision of advanced quantum technology into the heart of healthcare. It's not just an imaging tool, it's a comprehensive health assessment solution designed to bridge the distance between patients and advanced care. Imagine the ability to undergo a detailed full-body scan without leaving the comfort of your home. BP makes this a reality, offering a non-invasive remote scanning service that meticulously analyzes 130 organs, delving into the very fabric of your being. From the vitality of your cells to the robustness of your bones and the integrity of your chromosomes. But BP's innovation doesn't stop at its remote capabilities or its breadth of analysis. This technology is a testament to the School of Bionatural Medicine's commitment to personalized healthcare. Each scan is not just a snapshot of your current health. It's a gateway to a tailored health and wellness plan, designed to preemptively address potential health issues and optimize your well-being. With BP, healthcare is not just reactive. It's predictive, it's preventative, and it's personalized. It's about empowering patients with knowledge and insights that were previously beyond reach, opening up a world where health decisions are informed, precise, and proactive. In embracing the BP technology, we're not just adopting a new tool, we're welcoming a new era. An era where the complexities of the human body are no longer mysteries, but open books, where distance and accessibility to new age healthcare are no longer barriers. The School of Bionatural Medicine is proud to be at the forefront of this revolution, bringing the future of healthcare into the present. Welcome to the era of BP technology, where every scan brings us closer to a world of unparalleled health and well-being.
Isn't that amazing? Where in the forefront, we have technology that can use your voice to be able to highlight any possible imbalances, providing indication for medical professionals so that they can actually take a closer look whether the situation is affecting any of your six body system, your lung, your pancreas, your heart. And that information can be escalated to a qualified, competent professional to take out further analysis in terms of what could be happening in our complex anatomy. This technology also goes into a psycho-emotional. So not only looking into the analysis of pathological indication, but psycho-emotional as well, maybe as a result of trauma that somebody may have suffered during their lifetime. The technology, as advanced as it is now, as Andy just mentioned, there's plethora of so many coming up at this point in time. At this age, in a modern technological advancement, we should be now able to assess a patient condition based on primary care remotely. Yes, technology brings about proximity. The story of our research and quest into all of this started 13 years ago with my son when I took him to the hospital in London. And we were waiting for a doctor for over 10 hours. That was a long, long time. And that's when the research our team has started. Currently, this is only a baby step and is going to develop and develop, because we're never going to reach the end of this research in our lifetime by 2088. We're not going to get there. 2088, that's about almost 60 years time, 40 years time. So it's a long, long time view that we have. But at the moment, this is sufficient. Do you know anyone who may benefit from this? Again, you can complete our inquiry form, which Aisha is going to show again on this particular. Yeah, where is the person based? Well, it could be based in Accra in Ghana, or it could be based in New York, or it could be based in London. Our healthcare practitioners are able to carry an assessment of this particular client. And we're able to give them information within 5 to 10 minutes after the scan. So what's the point of waiting for miles, for hours, for days, and traveling so many distances for you to get to a physician, to you to get to a particular location? Can you see? So we are bringing some tools which is going to help our healthcare practitioner to reduce occupational stress in their area of practice. Never before had healthcare professionals been provided with this sort of support. In England, they work flat out. Some doctors, on average, spend 15, 16 hours a day, in addition to call out. And this is quite stressful. And it is not uncommon to see that a lot of our medical practitioners, they have very, very difficult family life, because life-work integration is very, very tough indeed. And our belief is this, and our focus is this, and our objective is this: to bring client, patient closer to the point of impact where they can actually see a healthcare practitioner in the comfort of their location at any point in time. Isn't that amazing? This is what we are all about. Providing supporting ligament, possibilities, opportunities for practitioner and also the recipient of those services, the men and women on the street. Okay, we're going to now go to the next service of our product and services. Now, this is one of the products that we have available. This product deals with every concealed part of our body. It's called the ICEA Redox Signaling Molecule Supplement. Scientifically, it's been proven that our body is made up of cells and genes, right? This is the medical discovery. Also, our body is made up of salt, sodium chloride, and also made up of water, blood, and other molecules, oxygen, that sustain that particular life. With that, the body is able to communicate at a cellular level between different parts of the body. The body becomes a regulator where a chemical part of the body can be transported from one part to the other. Galactotin, 800% transportation, the very best chemical in our body. They can deal with free radicals. They can communicate between different parts of the body. This particular product supplement is like water and salt combined together, but having the ability to be able to work with our molecules, using our body to get the body to function effectively, optimally. Scientists and medical community have discovered that our body has the capacity to produce the billions and trillions of cells in our body and to replace itself every so often. But when we get to a certain age in our lifetime, guess what? The rate of this production suffers from what is called marginal rate of production. What do we mean by that one? Well, after the age of 12, 13, 14, the rate at which the body is able to readjust this molecule for the body to be able to use itself will start to deteriorate. It's not as fast as it used to be before we turn age of 10, 12, 13. And guess what happens? So our body suffers from that reduction in terms of performance. And eventually, when we get in, by the time we get to 40, 50, we start suffering from pain, aches, and many other deformity in our whole body. So what this particular product does, it works in our body to use the body to be able to improve its immune functionality. It regulates inflammation. Cardiovascular health is improved. Our respiratory system, transportation system, all of that is enhanced in a process. Your digestive system, a lot of people use prebiotics in order to help the enzyme to digest some of the food quite competently. But this product becomes an agent that can improve all of that performance. And you know, proven scientifically, if our body is in a balanced state, we're not going to suffer any disease. But unfortunately, our bodies suffer from imbalances because of aging, because of the food we eat, because of the stress we go through, because of the pollution in our environment, and many other risk factors that affect our body to function to its optimal level of performance. So the purpose of this supplement, it is not a medical product. It is a supplement that combines the property of water and salt, which we have already in our body, to bring that to full functionality. So using the body itself to improve the performance of the body functions. Isn't that amazing? For many decades, scientists have been looking into these possibilities, and yet it is now possible that we have products who are now able to support to reduce or manage pain and some medical conditions, such as diabetes. Inability for our pancreas to be able to produce sugar. To decompose sugar into glucose and into the bloodstream. We have products that can support our immune capability to be able to do just that. Isn't that amazing? Can you see where we're going with all of this? Yes, any medical practitioner on this particular platform, all right, we are going somewhere. We're not only going to have product that can support the way we live. Yes, we live longer, but we live longer in pains and aches. But would it not be better for us to live longer without those extreme aches and pain? This is what this product is all about. Do you know any person right now who is suffering from diabetic condition, arthritis, pain, migraine, lack of sleep, and so many other medical conditions? This product has helped, has assisted millions of people globally since it's been launched in the last 12, 13 years. Totally and completely native to the body, because it uses the body function molecule to accelerate those molecular. So that's why I call it molecular adjuster of our body. It's not only good for you as human, it's also good for your animal, your rabbit, your cat, turtle, your elephant, your tiger, your panda, your dog, your cat. It brings them up to anything that had genes and cell. This product does, as my doctor friend had written here, miracles. He also supports a lot of people who engage in explosive sport, athletes who run miles. He enhances. Research were made in rats, and those who are actually taking within 28 days of taking the Asia readers, they have 25% faster and tire out less compared to other rats that have not taken. So yes, the research have been done. No toxicity whatsoever. And of course, supported by research and clinical studies. Isn't that amazing? Let's look into some of the medical conditions, right? What we're going to share with you now is a lady that had actually suffered from autoimmune disease with a very, very unknown process, bullous pemphigoid. Now, bullous pemphigoid is actually caused as a result of autoimmune disease, which means your body is actually rejecting something that even some molecules that are good to you, it rejects them and considers them to be foreign. And on the base of that, this is what happens. A very, very rare case, which no physician was able to decipher. Judy, who is actually on this particular platform, is actually a client of Judy, this particular. And what Judy, because the doctor have actually written her off that she should go home and die. This happened in 2024, 2024. So when Judy intervened, this woman started taking this particular redox. Can you see? 3 days later, this is what happens. Let's progress this one. And by the 27th, about 4 days later, look at the dramatic improvement that's actually taking place. Using that and the cream, Asia Renon 28, the reason why it's called Renon 28 because it's actually all the clinical trials were done over a 20-year period and produces phenomenal results in a process. 19 days later, can you imagine the transformation? Can you see what this product is actually doing? I had a privilege of actually meeting one of the attendees to a conference organized by ASEA at Budapest in February 2024. And I met one of the delegates from Ireland who is actually suffering from type 1 diabetic condition, type 1, whereby your pancreas is unable to digest any form of sugar. So you have too much sugar, so you have to have injection in order to reduce the impact. Otherwise, if you suffer from too much sugar level, that could lead to death prematurely. He's been taking that now for 5-6 years. And he said to me, the doctor has actually examined him in recent days, and 60% of his condition have been substantially and markedly reduced. Make no mistake, this particular product, I'm not making claim publicly on this, but if it is not the product actually helping, I don't know what it is. These are real life testimonials in the process. Whether it is a placebo effect, if placebo works, let's use it. Don't you agree? For those of you who are here, provided it works, it provides a solution. Look at the whole skin overall on the next slide, which Aisha is going to now share with us. Say, can you imagine the skin? Can you really, in your mind's eye right now, do you know somebody who is actually suffering with any medical condition? Mine is, let them try. Do you know doctors who are working with different patient clients from all over the world? Let them try. Isn't that incredible? You can order that product delivered to you in any country you're in, provided we have our entrepreneur and ambassador that can bring an individual for private consumption. If your country you have not made a formal application for recognition in a process. We have ambassadors from all over the world. If you want to go to Ghana, yes, we have our Mama Ajua, who is one of our entrepreneurs. That somebody going to Ghana, we can have this product delivered to them and they can be rich. That's how Mama Ajua has actually tested some of the product. One of our ambassadors was traveling. He was sending it through another inquiry who is going to Accra, and the product got to Mama Ajua in a very short time. Isn't that amazing? Now, let's look into the crescendo, the overall, the complete picture of what is actually happening. Remember, we only do with one thing only, health. We want people to be healthy, we want them to be educated, we want them to receive the necessary information so that they can look after their body. And if they are medical and healthcare professionals, they look after themselves and also to their clients. We have upcoming London Medical Conference, which is going to be held at Queen Mary University, 19 and 20, 2024. However, if you're not able to come physically, can you still attend this particular event? Yes, you can. It's available virtually for the 2 days. And you can watch the program, hear all our speakers speak on the different subjects, different medical conditions, emerging technology, lifestyle, cardiovascular, and men's and women's health, and many, many more that will be discussed and featured during this particular 2 days. Watch the video. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the London Medical Conference 2024, where innovation meets tradition and the future of healthcare is crafted today. On October 19th and 20th, the Queen Mary University in the heart of London will transform into a global hub of medical excellence and collaboration. This is not just a conference. This is a journey into the forefront of medical science and holistic wellness. Join the brightest minds and pioneering experts as they unveil new age technological advancements and timeless healing practices. Our keynote speakers will inspire and challenge you with topics that redefine the boundaries of healthcare. Dive into emerging technologies in healthcare and discover how AI and robotics are revolutionizing patient care. Explore the latest breakthroughs in prostate health, offering hope and new solutions. Delve into pain management strategies that are transforming lives. Learn about homeopathic solutions that blend tradition with modern science, and experience the wisdom of Chinese medicine, integrating patient practices with contemporary health needs. Come and engage in interactive workshops designed to ignite your curiosity and expand your expertise. Network with fellow professionals from around the world, forging connections that will drive your career and enrich your practice. Don't miss this opportunity to be part of something greater. The London Medical Conference 2024 is more than an event. It's a catalyst for change, a beacon of knowledge, and a community of visionaries. Register now and be part of the revolution in healthcare, because the future of medicine starts with us.
Can you imagine? Would you say you have benefited for this 2 hours of presentation? If you feel that you've actually taken something away, you benefited, I'd like you to put number 1 in the chat box. Go to the chat box and put number 1. You can see mine. Yeah, not only just 1, I put 1, 1, 1, 1 in one case, right? If you feel that you find it informative and you benefited. If you feel you're not able to use it, yeah, all you need to do is just say yes, 1, 1, 1. Very good. Okay, they're all coming. Okay. Wow, John, your 1 is actually longer than so many of us. Come on. Yeah, very good. Adogo, yes. Adogo, we are very pleased to having you, and we hope you're going to make this a regular practice and how we can be working with you remotely in everything. Andrew, yeah, thank you very much. So it has been an informative platform. You can imagine having something of this magnitude for over a period of 2 days. Wouldn't you regard that to be a festival in the process? Well, the final part of all of this, we're not only keeping this to School of Bio-Natural Medicine, we're also making it available to other people to become entrepreneurs, for you to be able to be one of our partners to work with us. We can provide you with infrastructure that can help you to develop a business in health and wellness platform without the need for you to change your location. We custom made the whole program. You will have all our product, you have our technology, and we help you to create your own clinic. You don't have to be a medical practitioner. You don't have to be a doctor. You have your own entrepreneurship program. This entrepreneurship program, this is not just a program that we just create head knowledge. It's entrepreneurship program whereby when you are part of our entrepreneur globally, we guarantee you a business, a career, guarantee. And we will be working with you, set up your whole ecosystem, help you to develop and build, guess what? Your whole social media, where you can display even your business card electronically. let me share with you that a copy of my own business card, for example. And majority of all of us here, we have our own business card that we can send electronically to anybody, anytime, anywhere around the globe. And when somebody subscribes, guess what happens? You get paid in a process. These are some of the benefits of our entrepreneur, what they enjoy as our members. Global retreat, 24/7 support, how you can grow your global network of business, how you can engage in training at workshops, advise how to raise money. If you have a project, if you have a service to market, how we can help you to do that. 24/7, 365 global access to our doctors and healthcare practitioners at the press of a button. 60-day guarantee profit income. Having your own business. You can be doing your 9 to 9, 9 to 5, but we help you to set up a business in a process. In the front page of this particular card, look at the front page. It will have your name, you have your details, and you have your QR code, which means anyone that clicks on that QR code will click on my QR code or any QR code I've chosen. And they just simply open, and the company pays me up to 20% of the income that subscriber pays for a year. Isn't that amazing? And this is what the program for today had been in terms of entrepreneurship. To learn more about how our entrepreneurship program works, see you Saturday, UK time at 10 a.m. Now I'm back to you now for closure and to thank everybody, Aish, in terms of the attendance for today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sunny. So before we end today's session, what an incredible session. There's so much I've learned today, and I am so ready to implement everything what Dr. Sunny has, taught us today. So before we close out, please, any more comments, any questions, anybody? Yes, please.
Just one thing that struck me as we were watching the ASEA presentation. All these healthy things it does must result in one thing: a healthy look, which is beautiful. I see ASEA as a beauty supplement. That's it. I'm not suggesting anybody needs it.
If you made that suggestion, they can always take it up in terms of. And okay, call Rashid. Rashid is not able to connect. Judy, is that what you're saying? Dr. Rashid, are you there?
Yes.
Wonderful. Nice to see you all the way from Philadelphia. Yeah, we're willing and able to take your comment, please.
Yes, please, Dr. Rashid, waiting for
Yes.
your comment.
Yes, what I want to discuss the ASEA product. I'm trying to talk to some people here concerning about the ASEA product, and also to be member of our forum. I've sent a couple of invitations. I don't know whether some of them are joined, because on last week, Wednesday, I was not on call. What? Oh my God. Where? Sorry.
No
My
problem.
hand touch. Yeah. What I want to know, if we want to open the ASEA clinic, ASEA product clinic in Liberia, what would be the procedure to go about that?
Very, very simple. You open an account, and that account, we will use that to open that clinic in Liberia. And you may also want to find out with the Liberian Food and Safety Authority. It's not necessarily a medical council, just to say that once you are bringing this product into the country, they're not going to be interfered with by the customs of Liberia. Very simple. No, nothing complicated at all. Judy is the one who can actually support you. Judy can support you in terms of the procedures and how that can be done. Yeah, Judy, are you there?
No,
we
Judy
have
is
to
not here.
register the product in Liberia with the
Well, some countries require that. So what I'm trying to say to you now, if you phone some of your pharmacists or your doctor colleagues to say these are the product, because it got nothing to do with chemical, had no chemical at all. They are all there. Make sure the descriptions is correct. And if they are supplement, which means they are very organic, they're natural, they do not have any chemical. Some countries say you can bring them in, but it just to make sure that there are no any interferences or interference with the custom authority, so that the product can get to Liberia safely.
Yeah, but if you're going to use it as a medicinal product, because you're talking about curing disease conditions.
No, we never say it's curing. What we are,
will it not?
No, we're not saying it's curing. What it does, it uses its own body molecule to balance, your body, so that your body can function more effectively.
Okay, so that means we will not classify as a medicinal product.
Correct, it is not, and it wasn't actually produced. Just imagine, I mean, we have the water, we have the molecule in our body, and if they're not able to work efficiently because some part of the ligament of the body are not able to carry all of that communication or the signal between the two different parts of the body, then the body slows down the whole process. So what the supplement does, it actually activates all the different parts of the body. So it's not putting any chemical into the system whatsoever. No. It uses the body molecule, fortifies them to bring the body back to normality. If you find it difficult, what we can do, we can speak with anybody who has the authority to be able to give you a better advice in Liberia. We are willing and able to speak with them, even with some of the doctors who have actually developed, who were part of the process of developing this particular supplement.
Okay, and for the BIPI technology, that in order to open the World Clinic, we have to register with the Ministry of Health.
Yeah, you can register with Ministry of Health. Again, they can classify it as Class A or basic registration that you need, or they can say, okay, what with our local university, so that they can actually carry out their clinical research in terms of what it is. So there are so many different permutations. Again, the information needs to be correctly conveyed in the right content and context for people to understand, so that they don't misunderstand what you're proposing, what you're suggesting to them. Very good. I hope that clarifies the position, Dr.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Rashid. So thank you all for the attention and participation today. We look forward seeing you. All the insights will hopefully shape the future of your work. Have a wonderful evening ahead.